Hello and welcome to my very first video blog. My name is Jeffrey and I want to talk about Crohn's disease and inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD. There's a lot of videos out there, I'm sure, if you look through YouTube, that discuss what Crohn's disease is. If you haven't found any of those videos, I'll briefly explain what it is. Crohn's disease is a disease that affects your digestive tracts, and it can occur anywhere from the mouth to your anus. And I guess I should just insert here, we may get a little descriptive, a little disgusting at times, because that's what's involved with this disease. So if you get a little squeamish, you may not want to watch this video. But if you have this disease or you know about it, you're probably used to some of the language that's used. So please continue watching. Crohn's disease, a lot of times mainly it occurs within the intestines. Some people get it throughout other parts of their bodies, whether it's their esophagus, their stomach, their mouth, but mainly it focuses more between the small intestines and the large intestines, so the colon and the ileum. When I first got diagnosed, I was actually diagnosed with ulcerative colitis because they saw it just in my colon. In ulcerative colitis, it's more of just the ulcerations, and that will occur only within the large intestines or the colon. A couple of years later, when I had another colonoscopy because I wasn't doing so well, they found that part of the disease was in the ileum, so it got changed from ulcerative colitis to Crohn's disease. And I've been battling this disease for about 23 years now. I was first diagnosed when I was 15. It was a very rough time for me. I mean, when you're growing up, becoming a teenager, the whole world's starting to open up to you. And for me, it was more of just lying in bed, being in pain, constantly going to the bathroom, and it was not fun. And over the years, I've learned to deal with the disease, but I've never actually dealt with it. I've put it more into the back of my mind. It's always been there, but it's like, I'm not going to deal with it just now. I'm going to get by. And over the years, I've gotten better, got worse. And beginning of this year, in January, I probably hit rock bottom. I was at the worst I've ever been with this disease. I was going to the bathroom about 30 times a day. And that's a lot, even for people with Crohn's disease. And nothing was really helping me, and I didn't know what to do at that point. And I turned to the internet, and I found a lot of support that I've never seen before out there. I've never actually researched Crohn's disease, but I started finding a lot of stuff out there. I searched YouTube, I found a lot of great videos. Some of you have probably seen those videos from Stephanie and Maggie, Kelly, and there's a lot of other great people out there that have made videos. But I mentioned some of those, I mentioned them three because one of the things I noticed is out of all those videos, a lot of them were made by women. And they tell how the women are feeling and how the women are dealing with the disease. And when I searched more, it was very hard to find a guy's view of what we were going through. And it's one thing to watch a couple of videos. It's very easy to watch a couple of videos and get some support, but when you're looking for ongoing support, especially in video format, you want it to more reflect your lifestyle. And it's pretty hard to do watching women talk about it and talk about their women problems sometimes. And guys, we have a lot of different feelings. We don't express them as well as women do. So let me put this out there now. If you're a guy watching this, that is great. I want to hear your feedback to this. I want to know what you're feeling and what you want to hear me talk about. If you're a woman watching this, maybe you don't want to. But I would say also you should watch it because you may have a family member, a male family member that has this disease. Your husband, your boyfriend, you may have guy friends that are going through this. And whether you have the disease or not, it's always better to get that experience from someone else and learn what that other person's feeling. Like, I've actually learned a lot listening to all these women talk about what they go through. I actually would like to know what some guys are going through. I don't see it much. Um, One thing I can say though is, as a guy, it is very hard to open up. I know women, they get pain. A lot of times they'll crawl up in a ball, they'll have a good cry, get their friends together, they talk about it. And us guys, we don't do that. We cover it up. We just grin and bear it. We're fine, let's move on. I actually want to say, it is alright to cry. I mean, it's the pain you get from Crohn's hurts. I mean, there are times it feels like a saw is just in your intestines, just going in at you. It's just excruciating pain, and it's sometimes hard to hold in. It's just because we're a guy doesn't mean we can't show emotions. Personally, as a guy, I don't feel like I have to be macho all the time. I think it's alright to show some emotions. I think there's a lot of women out there, I know my wife is one of them, they like a sensitive guy. You can open up to somebody, be honest with your emotions. Women like that. You don't always have to be that steroid looking, Hulk looking guy that can't show any emotions. Once you get a disease like Crohn's disease, everything else is out the window. You gotta show a little emotion. You can't take life so serious. You just have to let it go. All right, it's getting a little too serious, so I'm gonna move on a little. But as there's so much to talk about with this disease, and I have to say, I mean, I said beginning of this year I was at my worst, and I did change it around. I'm doing 1,000 times better now, and part of that was because of that support that I looked for and got from online. I found a lot of different support groups out there, and I haven't physically gone to one yet. And there is one out there that I used to go to as a kid, and that was done through the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. They always have support groups, and I went when I was a teenager, and it actually did help me a little. I have not gone back for many years, and I am contemplating going to one, even if it's just to help other people. But I've mainly been relying on online support right now. And I did a lot of research. And one of the things that I saw that a lot of people were doing to help with their disease was to change a diet. And I'm a food guy. I love food. I don't know if you can tell, I'm overweight. I'm in the food industry. That's my life. And it was, for years, it was so hard for me to just say, I'm going to change it. I'm going to stick to a diet that's perfect for Crohn's, because I didn't actually believe it. I didn't want to believe it. But I decided, all right, something has to change. I have to stop going to the bathroom 30 times a day. That's just not right. So I changed my diet. I actually went on a gluten-free diet. I also joined Weight Watchers to help lose the weight, because being overweight doesn't help either. But the main thing was I went gluten-free. And for a couple of weeks I was doing this, and I wasn't seeing a lot of change. I mean, frequencies to the bathroom was going down. My pain was going down a little. But I was still wasn't where I thought I should be. And I was on the verge of giving up. I was like, all right, I'm doing this for a couple of weeks, going nowhere. And then suddenly, bam, like overnight, I'm going to the bathroom 2-3 times a day. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm just a little backed up. And I realized, wait, this is normal. This is what normal people deal with. The diet was actually helping me. And it's not hard to do. There's so many products out there that if I hope to do more video blogs, and I definitely want to do one about gluten-free diets. There's so many choices out there on the supermarket. It's very easy to do a gluten-free diet these days. I still don't believe in all of the nutritional stuff that people talk about with Crohn's disease. Like, one diet a lot of people swear by is the SCD diet, or specific carbohydrate diet. I've looked it over. It's very, very restrictive on what you can eat. You're very restrictive on basically your carbs, and you can't eat certain dairy products, and it's, if you mess up just a little, it can ruin the whole entire diet and make you feel worse again. And I looked at that going, why? Why would someone do that when you don't have to go to these extremes? I mean, part of that diet is like a gluten-free diet. And I figured, why not just try that first? And that did work for me. And it may not work for you. There's a lot of different diets out there. I mean, nutrition is very funky when it comes to Crohn's disease. What works for one person may not work for another. All I gotta say is, I mean, try it all out, but in my opinion, I never go to extreme diets are never good. You should never cut out whole food groups. I mean, everything is there for a reason. There are carbs for a reason. Your body needs them. They're not all evil. Me, I'm just removing one type of carb. I'm removing gluten, which comes from wheat and barley. I'm still eating carbs. I eat rice, I eat quinoa, is millet. So besides diet also, of course have to take medicine, and anyone that's on Crohn's disease knows you're always going to be on a med. Anyone that says, oh, I'm in remission, I don't need to be on any medicine, let me tell you from experience, stay on your meds. Right now I'm taking Humira. I actually have a mild case of Crohn's disease, and I'm actually on a really strong medicine because I have been on almost every type of medicine there is. When I first got diagnosed, I was put on a zolpidem, which is a sulfur drug, and it didn't really help. So then they added prednisone, which is a steroid, and stuff was helping a little, but overall it didn't help. Eventually I took myself off the meds. I felt my body started getting better. I was growing up. Body was going through a lot of changes, and I felt like I was getting better. So I decided, I don't need to be on any medicine. And that was probably the worst mistake I could have ever made, because some years later after that, I started getting sick again. And I went to see a new doctor. He put me on medicine. I was back on a sulfur drug, and this time it did not help at all. It made me feel real sick. And I realized by going off the meds, my body probably built up a resistance then. And it just started a chain reaction. I have tried so many different medicines, and every time I seem to get the negative side effects. I don't see any of the good side effects. All I see are the negatives. And I've been on immunosuppressants. I've been on antibiotics, the sulfur drugs. I've been on the TNFs. I was on Remicade for about a year. Then I developed antibodies to that. So now I'm on Humira. I still don't feel Humira is working. I'm getting side effects from that. I have really bad eczema, which is dry skin due to it. I don't know where I'm going to go. If I get taken off Humira, there's nothing really out there left for me to try. There's a couple of other strong medicines that could really do harm to your body, and I really don't want to go on those meds. One of them is methotrexate. It's a self-injected, which I really don't want to be injecting myself with a needle. I think I find that very hard to do. But it's also known as, it's mainly used for cancer, to help fight cancer. It has a lot of bad side effects. Before I even went on Remicade, I was looking into drug trials because there was nowhere else for me to go. So I'm hoping that by changing my diet, and I'm doing a lot better now, that I could supplement that med use and that drug use by staying with a good diet. So I'm keeping the two in check. That Humira may not be working 100%, but at least it's helping a little. And by combining that with my good diet now, hopefully I can stay in this good zone right now. So I think that's about all I wanted to say for right now. I definitely want to hear what anyone out there has to say. Down below, I'm going to leave my information. You can follow me on Twitter. Leave me messages here. I want to hear what everyone else wants me to talk about. I want to hear what some guys are going through. I want to hear what you have to say, and you can expand on that. Like I said, I want to do more videos. I want to talk about more things. we go through a lot of stuff with Crohn's disease, a lot of things people don't know about, and I definitely want to share that with everybody out there. So take care, have a good day, and thanks for watching.